Hi, this is Mato. Welcome to my online chess lecture. In this video I will show you a game between Savielly Tartakower and Max Euwe. This amazing chess game was played in Italy in 1948. Savielly Tartakower had white pieces and he started with e4. Max Euwe played e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4. The Italian game. It makes sense. When in Italy, play the Italian game. When in Rome, behave like a Roman. Max Euwe continued with bishop to c5, c3 intending d4. Black to move. Knight to f6 is the most played move. Max Euwe played bishop to b6, d4, queen to e7, castling, d6, h3, knight to f6, rook to e1, castling, knight to a3, knight to d8. Both players are happy to keep the tension in the center of the board. Bishop to f1, knight to e8, knight to c4, f6, strengthening the pawn, on e5, a4, threatening a5, c6, knight takes on b6, a takes on b6. White has a bishop here and more space. And after queen to b3 check, white wins a pawn. Knight to e6, queen takes on b6. White is a pawn up, and the question is, does black have enough compensation for the sacrifice or the lost pawn? Black to move, and it is not at all clear. How should black continue? Black can't develop his light squared bishop. So what is the solution? What would you do in this position if you had black pieces? Max Euwe played this very aggressive move, g5, bishop to c4, pinning the knight, h6, white to move. Perhaps a5 or bishop to e3 should have been considered. Savielly Tartakower played h4. This may not be the strongest move. King to h7, h takes on g5, h takes on g5. White to move. Tartakower lost his patience, keeping the tensions in the center, and played d takes on e5. Perhaps g3 should have been considered, and if rook to h8, then bishop to e3, and after king to g7, king to g2. Back to our game. D takes on e5 was played. D takes on e5, bishop to e3, rook to h8, g3, king to g6, king to g2. It is black to move. Perhaps unnatural thinking says that black should develop his light squared bishop, or perhaps bring the knight to d6. What do you think? How would you continue in this position if you had black pieces? There was a surprise of epic proportions. Max Euwe played this amazing move, knight to f4 check. Who could have predicted this move? White to move, g takes on f3. The analysis after the game had shown that bishop takes on f4 was the best. G takes on f4, well, white was counting on this continuation. If pawn takes pawn on f4, then bishop to d4. Back to our game. Max Euwe played bishop to h3 check, and this made Tartakower worried. He played king to g3. If king to g1, then g takes on f4, with queen to g7 to follow, in some variations. Back to our game. So king to g3 was played. E takes on f4, check. White to move. Bishop takes on f4. Tartakower was counting on this variation. If g takes on f4, then king takes on f4, and white stands better. back to our game. But in this position, Max Euwe played another very strong move, and that is, how would you continue? Max Euwe played Queen to D7. White to move. Knight to H2 was played. Let's take it back. If the bishop moves to a safe spot, then Queen to G4 check. And after King to H2, Queen to G2 checkmate. Back to our game. So we have Knight to H2 controlling G4 square. Pawn takes bishop check. King takes pawn. Rook to H4 check. Bishop to G2 is also a good move. Rook to H4 check. King to E3. Bishop to G2. Knight to F3. Black to move. How would you continue? Max Euwe played Rook takes pawn on E4 check. Kaboom! What a firework by Max Euwe. With this move he wanted to bring his knight in the game with a tempo. King takes rook. Knight to D6 check. White to move, and it is very easy for white to go wrong. Tartakower played King to D3. Let's take it back. If the king goes to E3, then knight takes on C4 check, winning the white queen. Back to our game. King to D3. Queen to F5 check. King to D4, the best move. If the king goes to D2, then knight takes on C4. And if king goes to E2, then queen takes on F3 check. Back to our game. King to D4. It seems that the white king is ready for the endgame. Queen to F4 check. Queen takes knight is also a good move. Queen to F4 check. King to D3. Queen takes on C4 check. King to C2. Bishop takes knight on F3. And finally, white has a little break. B3 was played, attacking the queen. What is the best square for the queen? Max Euwe played bishop to E4 check. King to B2. Queen to D3, intending queen to C2 check. Rook to G1 check. King to F7. Rook from A to C1, defending C2 square. Let's take it back. If queen to C7 check, then king to E6. And the black king is safe, believe it or not. Back to our game. So in this position we have rook from A to C1. Queen to D2 check. King to A3. And when Tartakower thought that his king was safe, there comes another killer move. And that is, what would you do in this position if you had black pieces? Are you ready to see the move? Don't blink. Just kidding. The killer move is knight to C4 check. Pawn takes knight. And what was the idea behind the knight sacrifice? This was the idea. Rook takes on A4 check. Kaboom! King takes rook. Queen to A2 check. King to B4. Black played a move and white resigned, and the move is Queen to B2 check. Tartakower resigned. If the king goes to C5, then queen takes on F2 check, winning the white queen. And let's go back. If in this position the king goes to A5, to protect the queen, then queen to A3 checkmate. Wow, that was an amazing attack by Max Euwe. What do you think of this game? And that is all. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I wish you good luck with your chess, and bye for now.